Welcome to the What to Read Next podcast. This podcast is hosted by Laurie, a voracious reader of romance and young adult novels. In this podcast, Laurie interviews fellow readers and authors and asks them for book recommendations of what we should read next. We hope you enjoy it. Welcome to the What to Read Next podcast. So excited to have you back. As I shared in the past, I've read most of Reese Witherspoon's book club picks over the past year. Some of the books highlighted include Something in the Water by Catherine Steadman, Next Year in Havana by Cleeton, and The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. In this episode, I'm highlighting August to October's picks. There's a total winner in this pick, and there's a dud, so hopefully this will make it an interesting episode. For the month of August, the pick was Still Life by Maria Hummel. This book is touted as a mystery of the disappearance of a famous artist set in LA in 2003. I'll be honest, I hated this book. First, I tried to listen to an audio, and I made it to chapter 8, but I couldn't get into the story. So I got the book from the library a few weeks later, and I finished it in a couple of days. Here are my thoughts. I didn't get why we followed the main character. She just happened to be the ex-girlfriend of the artist's boyfriend. It was just kind of like random. We spent so much time in an event that had nothing to do with the mystery and how it unravels. And how the mystery unravels was unrealistic. The ending was abrupt, and it didn't have resolution. My suggestion is skip this book. So that's my suggestion. Just skip it. Don't even bother. This book was picked on book club, a real life book club that I attended the last month. And I was not the only one who had the same experience. It was like, there were things that you dive into that were like really a lot of information. And the things that were important, they were just glossed over. So it was just like, it was kind of like disjointed book. So just totally skip it. It's not that good. Okay. After reading Still Lives, I was worried about September's pick, which is Where the Crawdads Sings by Delia Owens. This book had a lot of hype on Instagram. So I was curious, but I wasn't drawn to the story because it was set in the Carolina marshes, and it was set as an atmospheric book. There's like science, there's a little bit of everything, and I was just like, I don't know if this is gonna be the book for me. And it was a surprise. This book grabbed me and captured my attention. This is the story of Kaya, who was abandoned at 6. She was abandoned, and then she had to make it work. There's a murder mystery, so there's a dual timeline. This book is set in the 1960s, 1950s, 1960s. We see Kaya growing up, and then there's this murder mystery that's happening jointly. So we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with it. There's conversations about growing up poor, the discrimination, the isolation. It was just a beautiful love story that just happened to have a strong female protagonist and a beautiful storyline. So this book has a little bit of everything. It keeps you engaged. It's really good. I encourage you to pick this book up. This book is going to be one of my favorite books of the year. So it's actually a really good pick. This is my total winner for the year from Reese's Picks. For October, Reese picked a backlist title from 2017. This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. This is a story of a family with the youngest child is trans. And this is a story of the secret that tears the family apart yet brings it back together. This is a timely book. As we know, trans issues are up in the forefront, so it's definitely a timely book. My thoughts, I enjoy reading this book, but I'll admit I couldn't connect a lot with the mother of the book. I just didn't feel like it was just there was a connection with the character. Like, I was curious to hear it. So what gave me a better start was the author's note, where the author explains that she has a similar backstory, but her story is different from the story she shared in the book and why she chose fiction. So that actually gave me kind of like some insight. Like, this story was not written in a vacuum. There's actually some meaning behind it. So that's where I will pick it up. It's a timely book to read. But I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. Like, it was a good book. I enjoy it, but I don't know. I think it took me a while to read it and to pick it up and to finish it off. So it was a good book. I would say pick it if you're interested in these issues. It's actually a fun story. It's a good story to read. Overall, this was an interesting 3-book picks. I definitely recommend For the Crawdads Sings by Delia Owens. I would skip Still Life by Maria Hummel. And if you're looking for a family drama, then pick This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. I'll continue to read Reese's picks as we have similar reading taste. So I definitely look forward to knowing that I'm going to read a new book and then Reese's pick. So it's definitely something I look forward to it. For a detailed list of books mentioned in this podcast, please visit whattoreadnextblog.com/75. If you want to connect with fellow readers, then you should join What to Read Next podcast Facebook group. For the month of November, this month, we're reading The Great Alone with Chris and Hannah. To join, please visit whattoreadnextblog.com/Facebook. If you enjoyed this podcast, please send a review on iTunes. This will help get the podcast get to skyrocketing audiences. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you soon.